Can you believe Egg is about to take the throne and somehow still manages to get himself into more trouble than a drunken hedge knight at a royal wedding? Yeah, Season 1 ended with Dunk and Egg riding off into what we thought would be a calm, let's explore Westeros vibe. But nope, George R. Martin had other plans. And honestly, if you thought the chaos of Season 1 was wild, buckle up, because Season 2 is about to take the cake, the crown, and probably Dunk's horse too. We're talking secret alliances, unexpected betrayals, and enough political maneuvering to make your head spin faster than a Lannister coin flipping in the wind. Season 2 picks up about a year and a half after the events of the Hedge Knight novella. Egg is growing into his role, trying to balance being a lordly apprentice and the reluctant heir who somehow has a knack for attracting trouble. And Dunk? Well, he's still trying to figure out how to survive without losing a limb, or his sanity. The Sworn Sword isn't just about swords and duels. It's a deep dive into the web of Westeros politics, where even the smallest action can trigger a rebellion or a deadly feud. And speaking of feuds, remember that little Blackfire rebellion reference from Season 1? Yeah, that's going to blow up in ways you couldn't even imagine. Let's talk characters, because this is where it gets juicy. Remember Rafe from the third novella, The Mystery Knight? He's popping up earlier than expected, which tells us the showrunners are definitely reordering events for maximum drama. And Roger's grave, yep, Alan's nephew, gets more attention here, giving us flashbacks and subtle nods to history that most casual viewers might miss. But here's the kicker. There's talk that some characters who haven't even been mentioned in any books might make an appearance. That's right, pure speculation. And you know George loves dropping teasers like breadcrumbs for us to obsess over. Now, here's where it gets seriously interesting. Enter Brennan Rivers, one of Egan Voy's bastards. The guy is basically a one-eyed master of whispers, a living chess piece in Westeros' deadly Game of Thrones, and he's already been teased in House of the Dragon Season 2. Some theories suggest he might even be linked to that mysterious fortune teller we saw. Yeah, the one played by the innkeeper actress. Coincidence? Maybe. But in this universe, nothing is ever a coincidence. Brennan's history is soaked in rebellion, blood, and secret loyalties that could turn Egg's learning about people journey into a full-blown nightmare. And don't even get me started on the timeline chaos. With a year and a half passing between seasons, we're hitting major events: the Great Sickness, a plague that wipes out nobles and peasants alike, and reshapes Westeros in ways that make Game of Thrones look like a family picnic. Kings die, heirs vanish, the Bloodraven rises to prominence, and suddenly the political chessboard is tilted completely on its head. Will Egg be ready for the fallout? Or is he about to learn the hard way that being king isn't just about wearing fancy robes and singing about hammers? Meanwhile, Dunk is getting dragged into more schemes than he signed up for. From navigating rival houses like the Osgreys and the mysterious Lady Rohan to dealing with peasants who can barely hold a sword, every choice he makes could ignite a war, end a life, or both. And let's be real, Dunk's survival skills are impressive, but even he can't dodge every trap. You know how it goes. One misstep, one misplaced sword, and suddenly your trial by combat isn't just a challenge. It's a nightmare where losing means death, humiliation, or heartbreak. So while we're setting the stage for epic duels and political chaos, here's the real question. With secret plots brewing, traitors hidden in plain sight, and Egg trying to juggle his destiny with teenage stubbornness, who's really in control here? The king? The knights? Or is Westeros itself just waiting to swallow them whole? And just when you think you have a handle on things, there's a flashback, a vision, and a whisper that could change everything. So tell me, can Dunk and Egg survive the storm that's coming? Or is Season 2 about to break every rule we thought we knew about the Seven Kingdoms? Season 2 really kicks into gear with the Sworn Sword. And let me tell you, the politics in Westeros are about to get messier than a tavern brawl after too much ale. Egg and Dunk aren't just wandering around on some casual tour of the Seven Kingdoms. They're walking straight into a minefield of old grudges, secret alliances, and houses that will stab you in the back faster than you can say Blackfire Rebellion. And speaking of Blackfire, if you thought the first season's little references were subtle, think again. This is where those seeds planted early finally start sprouting into full-blown chaos. You've got lords scheming, ladies manipulating, and peasants quietly rebelling in ways that will make you wonder who's really in charge. Let's break down some of the key players. Lady Rohan, for example, isn't just some distant noble with a shiny title. Rumors have painted her as a Black Widow, some kind of legendary widow who allegedly killed her husbands. But the truth? She's fit, cunning, and deadly in a more subtle way. Her 4 husbands may have died, but not by her hand directly. More like the plagues and the harsh reality of Westeros life did their work. And Dunk? Yeah, he's smitten, obviously, because apparently every noblewoman he meets ends up in some awkwardly romantic subplot that lands him in more trouble than he bargained for. And when he faces off against her champions in a trial by combat, you can bet he's thinking, not again. Why me? But of course, Westeros doesn't care about Dunk's feelings, and neither do the people trying to undermine him at every turn. Meanwhile, House Osgrey is in trouble. They're outnumbered, underfunded, and honestly, probably cursed at this point. Their streams are dammed by rival houses, their peasants are restless, and any small mistake could trigger a full-blown rebellion. Dunk is stuck in the middle, trying to negotiate peace while simultaneously training a ragtag group of peasants into soldiers who, let's be real, have no idea how to swing a sword without hitting themselves. And yes, that leads to hilariously tragic moments where you're simultaneously laughing and cringing. But this isn't just slapstick. The way the show blends small folk struggles with high-stakes politics is genuinely impressive. It gives a sense of scale and stakes that feels incredibly real, even in a fantasy setting. Now let's talk about some of the bigger mysteries and flashbacks, because you know they're coming. We already had hints in Season 1 that flashbacks would play a huge role, but Season 2 takes it to a whole new level. Think of it as a puzzle. Every character has layers, every rebellion has consequences, and every innocent bystander might be hiding something deadly. For instance, remember Brennan Rivers and the Blood Raven? His past isn't just history. It's the key to understanding why certain houses rise and fall, why loyalties shift, and why Egg might not be as safe as he thinks. And with the Great Sickness wiping out heirs and nobles alike, power is up for grabs, and anyone with ambition is going to try to seize it. And while Dunk is busy trying to survive, Egg's growth into a king isn't exactly smooth. He's making alliances, learning the delicate art of diplomacy, and attempting to navigate Westeros without accidentally starting another war. But let's be honest, he's still young, still stubborn, and still incredibly naive about how dirty the game really is. Every decision he makes has ripple effects, and the people around him aren't exactly saints either. Some are loyal, some are ambitious, and some are just waiting for the perfect moment to stab him in the back. Literally, Westeros isn't kind to the inexperienced, and Egg's going to find that out the hard way. Of course, all of this wouldn't be complete without some epic battles. The show doesn't hold back on showing that even a small skirmish can have devastating consequences. Dunk and his makeshift army of peasants are going to face situations where running isn't an option, where every sword swing could be their last, and where the line between friend and enemy is blurrier than ever. And yes, the Blackfire Rebellion flashbacks will add layers of intrigue because you start to see how past events influence present decisions. It's almost like the past is alive, whispering in Egg and Dunk's ears, reminding them that mistakes aren't just personal, they affect entire kingdoms. Then there's the juicy political maneuvering. House Osgrey versus House Weber isn't just about land or water, it's about pride, revenge, and centuries-old grudges. Every interaction between nobles is loaded with subtext, hidden threats, and the kind of tension that makes you lean forward in your seat. Dunk and Egg are essentially the audience's eyes into this chaos, trying to make sense of the madness while occasionally getting themselves into messes that could easily have been avoided. And yes, that makes them lovable, relatable, and endlessly entertaining to watch. Actors and casting choices also play a huge role in building suspense. Some new characters are perfectly suited to their roles, while others might be hiding secrets that could completely change the story. There are whispers that some actors might be playing double roles or characters with hidden identities, and if true, this adds another layer of tension. Every scene could contain clues you might miss, Easter eggs that hint at bigger reveals, or subtle foreshadowing that only pays off much later. And knowing the showrunners, you can bet that every detail is intentional. Nothing is wasted. So while Dunk is out there dodging duels and Egg is juggling alliances, we have to ask, who's really pulling the strings? Is it the clever nobles, the vengeful rival houses, or is it the fate of Westeros itself playing a cruel joke on these two? And as the peasants rise, the nobles scheme, and old enemies resurface, one thing is clear: Season 2 is setting the stage for betrayals, battles, and secrets that will leave us questioning everything we thought we knew. But just when you think you figured out the players, the alliances, and who might survive, there's a whisper of something bigger, something lurking in the shadows, something that could turn everything upside down. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, can Egg and Dunk navigate the chaos without losing more than just their pride? Or is the Seven Kingdoms about to chew them up and spit them out before they even realize what hit them? By the time Dunk and Egg reach the heart of Westeros in Season 2, it becomes painfully clear that nobody in this kingdom plays fair, and that includes the so-called heroes. Egg may have a crown waiting for him eventually, but right now, he's walking a tightrope across a battlefield of ambition, betrayal, and family secrets that make his teenage stubbornness look almost charming. Houses that seemed neutral suddenly reveal loyalties to one side or another, and the small folk, who we tend to sympathize with, aren't just innocent bystanders, they're hungry, scared, and ready to fight anyone who threatens their meager survival. And Dunk? He's expected to lead, train, and keep everyone alive while somehow maintaining a sense of honor in a world that has no concept of it. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well, at least not at first. One of the juiciest developments in the Sworn Sword storyline is the subtle but devastating rise of Lady Rohan. Remember how Season 1 teased her as a mysterious figure shrouded in rumors? Well, she's not just rumors anymore. She's a calculating force who knows exactly how to manipulate every noble, every soldier, and even Dunk himself. Her castle, her men, and her cunning plan to secure her streams all serve as a reminder that Westeros rewards intelligence and ruthlessness more than loyalty. And here's the kicker. Her interactions with Dunk and Egg are full of double meanings. One misstep could not only cost Dunk his life, but also potentially tip the balance of power in a region that's already teetering on the edge. And let's not forget, she's not just a political threat, she's a wild card in the romance department too, leaving Dunk scrambling between duty and desire. Meanwhile, Egg is slowly learning what it really means to be a king in training. He's trying to balance the ideals he's been raised with against the brutal realities of the Seven Kingdoms, which often involves backstabbing, manipulation, and decisions that could lead to someone's death. Every alliance he forms comes with strings attached. Every conversation hides potential betrayal, and every decision risks setting off a chain reaction that could engulf him, Dunk, and the common folk alike. And speaking of consequences, the Great Sickness still looms large, having wiped out heirs and left the nobility scrambling to fill voids in power. Egg has to learn fast. A king who hesitates is a king who dies, or worse, leaves his kingdom in chaos. The Sworn Sword also brings flashbacks and character origins to the forefront, giving viewers a deeper understanding of the historical tensions that shape current events. Brennan Rivers, the one-eyed master of whispers, remains a shadowy figure whose influence reaches further than anyone suspects. His role as a manipulator behind the scenes, combined with his violent reputation from the Blackfire Rebellion, makes him a figure that both Egg and Dunk cannot ignore. And because the show loves to tease, we get glimpses of his past that hint at connections to other characters we thought were minor, turning old allies into potential enemies and forcing viewers to question every assumption. Who's loyal, who's plotting, and who's going to flip at the worst possible moment? That question hangs over every scene like a sword ready to fall. Then there's the issue of House Osgrey's faltering position. The dammed streams, the restless peasants, and the rivalries with House Weber are more than just political drama. They're a ticking time bomb. Dunk's attempts to mediate, train peasants, and negotiate peace only highlight how little control any one person truly has in Westeros. Every decision sets off unintended consequences, and even the smartest strategies can unravel in an instant. And yes, some of these failures are downright hilarious in hindsight, but in the moment, they're life or death. Dunk's heroic instincts are constantly tested, and sometimes his good intentions clash spectacularly with the harsh realities around him. Romance, of course, isn't spared from the chaos. Dunk's interactions with Lady Rohan and the other noblewomen of the Seven Kingdoms create tension that's as entertaining as it is exasperating. Every glance, every compliment, every accidental misstep has political implications, and the writers make sure to keep the audience on edge with just enough subtlety to make you wonder, will Dunk survive politically, physically, and emotionally? And Egg isn't immune either. His growing understanding of power, loyalty, and the burden of leadership forces him to confront uncomfortable truths about friends, family, and the people he thought he could trust. These moments of character growth are juxtaposed with the chaos around them, creating a tension that's both thrilling and terrifying. And speaking of chaos, the show doesn't shy away from battles, whether it's small skirmishes between rival houses or larger-scale conflicts hinting at the Blackfire Rebellion. Every fight is brutal, messy, and unpredictable. Dunk's ragtag army of peasants, many of whom have never seen battle before, struggle to survive, and the outcomes are never guaranteed. Every swing of a sword or misstep in formation can have devastating consequences. And with flashbacks and visions layered throughout, we see how past conflicts echo into present ones, shaping the characters' decisions and alliances in ways that constantly shift the balance of power. Actors and their casting choices continue to play a pivotal role in building suspense. Some new characters are clearly set up for shocking reveals, while others may have hidden motives that will only pay off in later episodes. There's speculation that some actors could play multiple roles or characters with hidden identities, which adds a layer of paranoia and intrigue. The audience is constantly forced to question who they can trust, mirroring the uncertainty that Dunk and Egg feel on their journey. And that, of course, is the brilliance of the show. It's not just about sword fights or political schemes. It's about making us think, analyze, and obsess over every tiny detail. By now, the tension is almost unbearable. Peasant armies, traitorous lords, rival houses, deadly diseases, secret lovers, and political manipulators are all colliding in ways that promise to leave nothing standing. Egg and Dunk are caught in the middle, struggling to survive and protect those they care about, while trying to make sense of a world that seems designed to break them. And just when you think the pieces are falling into place, a whisper, a vision, or a seemingly innocuous event threatens to undo everything. So the real question becomes, in a kingdom where secrets are currency, loyalty is fleeting, and even the smallest misstep can lead to death, who will survive? Can Egg truly become the king Westeros needs? Or is he destined to become just another casualty of the Seven Kingdoms' endless cycle of betrayal and bloodshed? And as Dunk navigates a world stacked against him, will his courage and honor be enough? Or is the season about to teach him the cruelest lesson of all? And now we get to the part where everything looks like it might calm down, which, if you know anything about Westeros, means it absolutely will not. Because Season 2 isn't just building toward a simple duel or a neat political agreement. No, it's building toward consequences. The kind that linger, the kind that quietly reshape destinies while everyone is too distracted by swords and pride to notice it happening. The trial by combat. On the surface, it feels familiar. Dunk steps up again, bruised, exhausted, probably wondering why he didn't just become a baker somewhere peaceful. But this time, it isn't just about personal honor. It's about proving loyalty in a realm where loyalty has become a suspicious word. When he faces Lady Rohan's chosen champion, it's not just steel clashing against steel. It's two ideologies colliding. House Osgrey clinging to a fading past versus House Weber representing survival through adaptation, and Dunk, somehow, is stuck representing both honor and chaos at the same time. He wins. Of course he wins. But here's the thing nobody talks about enough. Winning in Westeros doesn't mean you walk away untouched. Dunk survives, but barely. He's battered, half-drowned, physically broken, and emotionally drained. And while he's recovering inside Rohan's castle, the political board shifts again. Because Rohan agreeing to marry Lord Eustace? That's not romance. That's strategy. That's survival. That's a woman choosing stability over sparks. And for Dunk, that's a quiet heartbreak he never really signed up for. But let's zoom out for a second. Because while Dunk is losing the girl and gaining another scar, Egg is watching, learning, absorbing every single lesson about power, compromise, and the ugly cost of peace. This is the transformation season for him. The boy who once sang songs and dreamed about knighthood is starting to see that ruling isn't about glory. It's about sacrifice. It's about swallowing your pride. It's about letting people you care about make choices you hate because it stabilizes the realm. And this is where the bigger seeds for Season 3 start quietly planting themselves. Because remember that Blackfire tension bubbling under everything? It doesn't disappear, it simmers. The rebellion may be technically crushed, but its supporters are still alive, bitter, waiting. The show has been very careful about showing us that loyalty to the crown isn't universal. There are whispers in taverns. There are lords who smile too easily. There are peasants who fought on the wrong side and never truly forgave the crown. And those wounds don't close just because a trial by combat ended one small dispute. Season 2 ends not with fireworks, but with unease. Dunk and Egg ride away again, just like Season 1, except this time, they're not naive. They've seen how fragile peace really is. They've seen how quickly alliances shift. They've seen how personal desires get crushed under political necessity. And Egg especially now understands that one day he won't be riding beside Dunk as a squire. He'll be sitting on a throne making choices that affect millions. And that realization? It's terrifying, because history tells us something important. When Egg eventually becomes king, his reign won't be smooth. His progressive ideas, his attempts to uplift the small folk, his resistance to powerful lords, all of that creates friction. Dangerous friction. The kind that leads to tragedy years later at Summerhall. And if you think the writers aren't planting emotional groundwork for that future disaster right now, you haven't been paying attention. Every small decision in Season 2 echoes forward. Every argument about water rights mirrors future arguments about royal authority. Every reluctant compromise foreshadows bigger sacrifices. Even the great sickness hanging in the background serves as a reminder. Power is temporary. Life is fragile. Kings die. Heirs vanish. And when the dust settles, someone unexpected always rises. And then there's the final quiet tension, the North. There are hints, conversations about heading north, mentions of Winterfell, talk of the Wall. It feels casual now, like an adventure. But we know how this world works. The North changes people. The Wall changes people. And if Season 2 is about political maturity, Season 3 might be about existential reality. Because once Dunk and Egg step closer to the edges of the realm, they're not just dealing with petty noble disputes anymore. They're stepping into legends, ancient forces, and histories far older than any rebellion. So what did you totally miss? You might have missed that Season 2 isn't about the duel, it's about the shift. You might have missed that Rohan's marriage isn't just a plot resolution. It's a thematic statement about survival over romance. You might have missed that Egg's silence in certain moments speaks louder than his dialogue. And you definitely might have missed that every single Blackfire reference is setting up something far bigger than this local conflict. Because this show is playing the long game, and that's what makes it dangerous. By the time the credits roll on Season 2, Dunk has grown harder, Egg has grown wiser, and Westeros has grown more unstable than ever. The peasants are restless, the noble houses are fractured, the crown's authority is thinner than it looks. And somewhere out there, former rebels and ambitious lords are watching, waiting for weakness. So here's the final question. If Season 1 was about proving honor, and Season 2 is about understanding power, what happens in Season 3 when honor and power finally collide head-on? Because when the past refuses to stay buried, when old rebellions resurface, and when Egg is forced to choose between the realm and his heart, will Dunk still be enough to protect him? Or are we watching the slow, inevitable march toward a tragedy that's already written in the history books? And if that's true, are we really ready for what's coming next?